privilege for me this afternoon to be introducing our speakers. But before I do that, I just want to give you a little bit of background to what it is we're doing here. I've been at the university for 3 years, and one of the things that was quite important to me was that we made available opportunities for people to seek development, promotion, recognition. And it was my opinion, it's been confirmed with some data, that in the institution, women sometimes weren't given as much opportunity as men. Now, whether that's factually correct or not, that was an observation I made, and I set up with the director of HR at the time, director of POD now, Carolyn sitting here, the opportunity for us to run a series of events called Inspiring Women, and this is part of that series. We've been running it now for I think nearly 3 years, 2.5 years, and we have a tendency to bring in people and encourage female staff particularly, but not only, and you see today we have a broad range of males in attendance, which is fantastic. And of course, it doesn't require women to inspire women, but today we have a wonderfully inspiring woman to inspire all of us, and I've no doubt that will be the case. So I don't want to spend much time talking, but I'm delighted that Margaret Scott, first of all, is going to facilitate this discussion, and then Dominika Zurawska, whose work I'm sure you're all familiar with, and if not, you have the opportunity of being familiar with that later, is going to be the artist that Margaret's going to have a conversation with. I'm particularly excited about this. When the session is finished, of course, there will be a drinks reception outside, outside this room, not outside. And then we will encourage you later to come upstairs and see the iconic Women series that she has painted that is now displayed upstairs in our atrium. A set of pictures, paintings that are unbelievably inspirational, certainly iconic, and demonstrate the capability of this young artist and the future that she has in this world. So I'm not going to speak any longer. Margaret, Dominika, please come and take your places. Can I ask you all to welcome them to the room?
Thank you. Thank you. Are we all wired up here? Yeah. Welcome. Hello, that's sorry I shouted there as well. So warm welcome and thank you, Principal, for that introduction.
It's a good start. Oh!
Hello, that's now.
Okay, thank you. But I think it's moving again. We'll just keep going with this. Hopefully the microphones will kick back
In. That's it now. Dominika, you have gone through an amazing transformational effect over the past 2 years.
Yes.
And it started in quite an unpleasant way for you. This is Inspiring Women
event series, and everyone in the room is very interested to know
how you have overcome some of the challenges that you've faced, and how you've sort of, cruised that wave of success as well. So if you could maybe outline some of the highs and the lows and share with us your journey, that would be a great start.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Yes, as you mentioned, the last 2 years have been an absolute roller coaster to me. I've been made redundant in a casino work, which I've been doing for 8 years, and I was a mum of 1-year-old, so I knew I can't really go to an office job again. So I just really made one bold, very courageous decision to become a full-time artist again. It was a very scary decision because I had a 10-year gap, so you can imagine my hand wasn't working the same way as it was 10 years before. But the plan was that having the skill I learned in my schools, I would probably maybe start with some small school of art, and on the side I would do some paintings. But after only 2 months, thanks to powerful social media, everything kind of erupted, and we had to change the business plan. So with the help of Charlie Fraser from Business Gateway, we kind of turned everything around, and I became a full-time artist, which was very, very courageous, as I said, and very difficult in a way that my son was only 1, and I could only work at night. I can still only work at night in a shed, but I love it. But yes, it was amazing. It's amazing, and this is something I want to do.
Okay. So you got some advice from Business Gateway,
Yes.
and you made a firm friend in Charlie,
Yes.
your advisor. Charlie advised you to kind of hook up with the Incube business incubator on the high street.
Yes. I mean, the first thing Charlie advised me to do was to apply for the funding that is available for startup businesses, but I was declined because they said they can't see potential. And after 4 months, I applied for Incube, and I actually applied for the same funding, which was granted to me. And yeah, thanks to that, I found myself at Incube Base, the business incubator.
So Incube, it's a business incubator.
Mhm.
It has a business accelerator program. So you would have got mentorship and networking. Do you want to share a little bit of information on how that's helped you?
I mean, yes, of course. I mean, to be honest, I never thought I would become an entrepreneur or a businesswoman. Far from that, believe me. Having such an amazing group on the side, people who knows how to start things rolling. It was an amazing experience, and whenever I had any question or I needed any advice, I could go to Incube, speak to Cindy or any other members, and I knew I was safe.
That's good. So, as an artist, at first you weren't seen as someone that could be an artist that made a living for your work, but through Incube you've been encouraged, you've learned new skills, and actually I know you've shared with me that you've always sold paintings, but the brand value around you and your paintings has absolutely escalated over that period.
I definitely learned a bit more about branding, and that helped me a lot, to build up this DOM brand, and obviously also a big help from Incube and from Init Art Gallery made me, be in the place where I am today. So I'm really.
So you're Dominica, and you operate under the sort of brand Dom, D.O.M.
Yes, but that's.
What does that mean?
Well, probably most of the people think it's a shortcut from my name, but it actually means Dio Optimo Maximo, which is a shortcut from, Latin verse saying that everything I've got comes from God, and everything I do goes back to God.
Okay, so that's something that kind of really means a lot to you. Okay, so during this period, you also won some awards, and I've actually got some illustrations here, but I wondered if you could share with the audience the process that went on, and actually how winning an award has acted as a currency for your practice, if you like.
Yes. So, I like to think about myself like as an ambitious woman, and I think I was over ambitious at the beginning of my career, because I decided to take part in BP Portrait Artist of the Year. If anyone of you heard of this, it's a very tough competition, but I just decided I'm going for it. And obviously I failed, but it took me probably 5 minutes, to get over it, and 5 minutes later I sent the same painting called I Am Eva to Society of Women Artists competition, and to be honest, at that time I didn't realize how big this competition was as well. And when I found out that my painting was included in a joint exhibition in Mall Gallery, so it was enough for me. I mean, it was good enough, but when they phoned me 10 minutes before the exhibition saying that I won, it was shaky. It was shaky, and it's really important, as you said, to have competitions and awards, in your artistic CV, because that kind of build up the brand as well. I'm really happy and chuffed that I've been chosen the winner.
Okay. Yes. So, I mean, you did say to me in an earlier conversation that when you came to the UK, you knew you had artistic ability, but through the skills that you've learned here in Paisley, the networks, the awards you've won, you now consider yourself to be an international award-winning artist.
Yes.
And you've been represented by the Enid Art Gallery, and your paintings were selling for just a couple of £100 initially, and they're now selling for thousands of pounds. So that is a big leap.
Big jump,
in just it's actually under 2 years, just 22 months, I think you said earlier.
22 months, yeah.
So, it just shows you from being made redundant.
Yes.
And actually you shared with me that you had valued that job that you had so much.
I did.
It was your salary, it was the thing that you thought would help keep you and your family going.
Exactly.
But actually by losing out in some way, it's created a big opportunity for you.
Yes, it's exactly as people say, one door closes, the other one is opening. So that's how I took it. I think I only cried for 1 day.
Okay. And what were your husband's thoughts on
Oh, he was happy. I phoned him, crying, saying, listen, I'm going to be made redundant, I'm going to lose my job. And he was happy. He said to me, I don't understand why you are crying. I mean, I think it's a good thing, because you're going to go back to painting. What are you talking about? No, nobody going to buy my painting here in the UK. And he proved me wrong.
That's great. So, I mean, suppose people are always very intrigued about the world of the artist and where you make your work and what inspires you and the kind of conditions that you work in. Could you kind of let us into your world a wee bit?
So I'm a full-time mom and a full-time artist. So during the day I stay with my son. My husband comes back from work 5:30. And usually around that time I go to my shed, which is not the best space, to be honest, you know, to create paintings, especially such a big paintings as you're going to see upstairs. But as they say, you know, if you really want it, you're going to do it. So I did it. It was very hard work. It's still going to be a hard work because I have to work mainly during the nights. But I'm getting a lot of pleasure from that and a lot of positive energy. And especially, you know, seeing people like you coming in today, that, you know, just proves me that this is something I really want to do. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. So when did you first realise that you were an artist and had artistic ability?
Oh, when I was 5.
Okay.
I drew Donald Duck and I thought, yeah, I got it. No, to be honest, my father's sister, she's an artist and her husband is an artist as well. So when I was growing up, I was very familiar with the artistic environment, like, you know, smelly jars, you know, turpentine smell. That's the thing I actually remember the most. Big, massive, colorful paintings. So I was always driven towards, you know, this direction. And when I was 13, I decided I would like to go to high school of art because we have slightly different school system in Poland. I got the place, and I didn't feel an artist yet because I think you need to really learn a few things, few skills before you can call yourself an artist. I think this word has been actually overused by many. But yeah, then I decided to go to the university and things got
It moved on from there. So I suppose my next question was, you've said that your aunt and uncle inspired you because you were familiar with that environment of the artist studio. But there was someone that inspired you, your great-grandmother. And I've got an amazing photograph of her here.
Yes.
I think this is a fantastic photograph, and I think everybody would love to know what the story is behind this.
Yes, this is my great-grandmother, Matrona Smirnov. She was a Russian aristocrat. One day she decided to become a snake charmer after she met my great-grandfather. But the thing about Matrona, I only know that from my mom because obviously I never met her, but she said, I have a fearless heart, just like she did. Whenever she got the instinct, and she was very passionate when she had that, you know, thing in her head, she would follow her dreams. And on many occasions my mom told me, I mean, I would never be able to do that, you know, where do you find the courage? And I always say to my mom, I just have to, I can't explain, I just have to do it. I mean, I only live once, so she always been comparing me, you know, you have a fearless heart and mind and soul. So.
And I think we might see one of your paintings upstairs.
That's my tribute,
inspired by this image, which I've seen. I've had a wee sneak preview. It's amazing. So there was another thing that you and I share in common. That we both have a love of art and we both have a love of music.
Yes.
So you were saying to me that you can't make art without listening to music.
No, I can't imagine painting. That would be so boring. I need the full package when I paint. So yes, I always create with the music.
And there's one particular artist who inspires you. Do you want to say a wee bit about that?
Yes, it's Madonna. Madonna. She had an influence on many things in my life. She inspired me as a woman. She inspired me as a mother, as an artist, as a performer, as a I don't know, she did so many things as a filmmaker. She's a very inspiring woman. But the thing about Madonna, I know that many people, you know, visualize her as a very controversial person, but I just kind of see her very romantic, you know, very down to earth. And as some of you probably know, we managed to get in contact with her several months back, and I could finally gift her with my painting, which was a great achievement. And believe me or not, I don't know what's causing it, what's the magic in it, but you can imagine that at 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm very tired when I'm going to my shed. But whenever I put her music on, it's just like, yes, let's do it. Let's do another painting. Let's work. Give it more. You can do more. You can do more. So she's kind of helping me. She's like a spirit.
When you were at high school, because I know we've got different terminologies for the education system, which I was really interested in. You didn't go to school until you were 7.
Yeah.
In Poland, you know, you've got lots of time for
Free childhood.
free childhood, plays, very much
Yeah.
valued. You go to school though, and then you were saying it's a big shock to your system, very academic, very...
It was a good shock though.
A good shock, full on. You were sort of directed towards the art department, and you gained many fantastic technical skills.
Yes, yeah.
So the reason I'm flagging that up is because you mentioned earlier on that your work is very expressive, and at one point you were discouraged for being expressive and criticised.
Yeah, on many occasions.
So do you want to talk a wee bit about that and how that's kind of affected you? Because you spoke about sometimes when you're making something, you hear the wee voices, the wee negative voices in your head that I think we all feel at times. Do you want to chat a wee bit about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I still really value the skills I've learned in my school. It was a very high-level school. There are several schools in Poland, but this one was probably the most strict one and the most, I don't know, excellent one. And we've been always told that before you can call yourself an artist, you really need to, learn several skills, how to draw a person. Before we've been allowed to draw a person, we had to learn all anatomy, how the human body is built. So it was really, really good lesson. But then whenever I tried to express myself through my paintings, doing something extra, applying for competition, which I never won any of them, I was taught on many occasions, and as you can imagine, when you are 14, 15, 16, you trust your teachers and you believe every word they say. They always been telling me that my paintings are more of a poetry instead of a technical value. And when the 5th year, the final year of high school came, I've been really discouraged, to paintings. And they told me you should do sculptures or maybe you should draw, but you should definitely not go for paintings because you're never gonna achieve anything. So I listened to them, and so when I was deciding on my University of Art, I decided to go for a critique and promotion faculty, which was more like a journalistic thing to do, and then things kind of slightly changed, as you know, and I started.
So you had gone down a particular route which actually was not allowing you to do the sort of fine art painting that you really dreamed of doing, but actually you were painting and you were finding some success. You were selling some paintings at that time.
Well, I sold one, the first one that I took to Paisley, which was called The Fallen Angel.
Right, okay, I've missed a bit here, sorry about that. So this is a wee personal bit. You left school, you fell in love.
Yes.
But you suffered a great loss. We're not going to go into the details around about that, but you did say you were going to describe how you felt and how you overcame the sort of tragedy at that period in your life.
As I said, I was really discouraged from painting to a point that I couldn't even look at brushes or canvases, and I had loads of them in my home just being covered with the dust. And this thing happened to me, and I was kind of struggling, with the emotions inside, and I couldn't really find any outlet for myself. And one night, I remember I woke up during the night, and I felt like I'm in a very deep black hole. And I just looked at this canvas was standing next to my window, and I just grabbed the brushes, the paints, and I did the first, proper expressive painting, where I didn't think about, would that teacher say if that's poetry, or is this arm right? I just let myself loose. Sorry. And I was due to go to Paisley, the city where I wanted to apply for the university, and normally you take the artworks, like drawings, paintings, to show them your abilities. But I decided to take the painting with me as well, so I went to Paisley, but I left the painting in a club where my friends work, and they phoned me after 2 days. They said, "It's sold, bring more." It was a shock to our system, but it wasn't still the time that I actually thought I could do something with that.
And how many paintings did you make around about that time?
Well, that was the first one, and then when I had my accident in Germany, I couldn't walk for 3 months. I did 9. And I came back to Paisley after I could walk again. And my manager in a coffee shop where I was working, she said we could make an exhibition of that. I said, "Are you joking? This is a pure poetry. Nobody will like that. I mean, they're worthless." But she kind of, managed to convince me, and that was one of the most amazing moments I will always remember, because so many people came, and I finally got, you know, the opinion of the public, you know, being seen aloud. I could hear that, and I knew what they are thinking, and we sold everything at part one, at same night. So it was good.
So, I mean, that wee voice in your head, the lecturer, the teacher that had said to you, your paintings are not technically what they should be. This is poetry, which is an expression we don't tend to use here. But what you were really meaning around poetry is that it's sort of expressive art, which of course we all value.
They said, they probably meant that I'm trying to say too much through a painting.
Okay.
That I should focus on technical.
And that became a bit of a kind of mental barrier for you yourself?
It did. I can sometimes still hear the small voice behind my head whenever I finish the painting. Each and every one of them upstairs, I could hear, you know, are they gonna like it? Is it a poetry? Is it too much poetry? I said, oh, just let it go. Just let it go, girl.
But Fallen Angel, which is the painting that sort of got you through that period, was part of your portfolio for university? And
it wasn't actually.
It wasn't?
No,
right,
no.
okay.
For the portfolio, we had to use, you know, still life, this kind of subjects.
Okay, you got into university?
Yes, I got.
You got into university. So tell us a wee bit about that and the work that you made during that period and any challenges that you had.
Yes, it was very challenging because, I mean, I really wanted to get that place at university. It was really hard because there was 100 people applying for one place. So it was really difficult, but I got the place. As I said, I decided to study critic and promotion of art because I'm not painting, no. But then after the first exhibition, I thought this is something I want to do. And I had actually 6 exhibitions, 6 solo exhibitions. Each and every one of them I organized myself. And suddenly I got an email, I can't remember. My main head teacher asked me to come to his office, and he actually told me that they don't really like my activity. I thought they should be proud because apart from my faculty, I do something extra. But they weren't really happy, and they told me that if you do a next exhibition, you need to include people from your year to be included. But I said they don't even paint. So he replied to me saying, okay, so you should probably give all the money you make from the exhibition to the university because you're still our student, and that was ding dong. So yeah, it was really sad because I remember fighting for this place, and I really wanted this place at university. And then I just felt really disappointed. And I think the final straw was when my parents decided to move to UK. I had to go back to exactly the same head teacher and ask him for 1 month off from school because I wanted to help my parents. And in front of other students and in front of other teachers, he started to laugh at my parents, saying what kind of school they finish if they can't manage financially in their own country. So that was it. I said, this is not a place for me. If I'm going to stay for next 2 years, they probably will fail me at my master's anyway. I don't really want to waste my time and my energy on this kind of people. So I left. So no, I don't have a master.
But actually that's in a university setting. That student experience is something that we're very interested in, and obviously I think I have to say in UWS it's very much about encouraging enterprise and not discouraging in the way that you have been. So you felt sickened, you left the university, you were thinking about following your folks over to the UK who had found work here, but you got an opportunity, the opportunity fell through. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, the same year, 2005, I've been announced Artist of the Year in Poznan. Funny enough, I found out afterwards that my professor's been taking part in the same competition. I knew there's no way back to this university. But after that, I've been offered, an agent contacted me and he said, we want to make, if you would be interested in making an exhibition in one of the most prestigious galleries in Warsaw. Yes, this is something every artist dreams about. And I invested all my money into this exhibition. I've been working on the paintings. I even rent a bigger flat to have more space to do the paintings. So now I'm working in the shed. But I did that, and unfortunately 2 weeks prior to the exhibition I got a phone call saying that my paintings, my exhibition will not be open. They cancelled the exhibition. They said that my art is too controversial.
Okay, it was a nudity in particular.
Yes, but believe me or not, I never wanted to offend anyone, and I would never think of any of my paintings, and believe me, I can be very critic to myself, that they could offend anyone out there and appropriate. They were beautiful, beautiful women.
Yeah. So that was really unfortunate, and so you really left Poland not feeling very happy at all. You arrived in the UK, you were safe, you were with your parents, and you did your parents. Looks like a young parent. You did some paintings when you got over here, not many, but
not many.
You did a few. You found some work. So what happened at that point?
Well, when I came to UK. Although I really wanted to come with my parents and my brother, they already lived in Manchester, it came up actually that it was too overwhelming for me. New country, new language. I have very good friends in Poland behind me. So it kind of, I didn't feel enough confidence to create or even to try to make an exhibition. And funny enough, the moment when I actually did 3 big paintings, one was my previous employer, Jonathan. He saw one of my paintings by accident, and he just kind of pushed me into painting 3 big portraits for his office. So that was the only time when I actually did a proper art, not including, you know, the small pieces which we'll keep in a bathroom or something.
So you fell in love again. You met your husband, you got married, and you moved to Paisley.
Yes, I did.
Why Paisley?
It was an instinct. Honestly, it was an instinct. I mean, I only been maybe once or twice in Scotland before, and we start looking. I mean, he told me, you look for a flat, so I said, oh yeah. So I started looking for flats, and I started looking at the towns and cities, and I've been just driven towards Paisley, and I didn't know what Paisley means, and you know that, I told you that before. But actually, when I found out about Paisley pattern, it came up to be my favorite pattern I've been using as a young girl, you know, on my clothes or something like that. So I think it was a destiny.
So you feel as though you get a really nice property, it was good value.
Yeah.
You said to me in an earlier conversation that you felt at home, you really loved the town, you'd work in the morning, you were working still remotely with the casino at that point, and you would get all your work done early on, then you'd go out and you'd just wander around.
Charity shops,
architecture, charity shops, and you began to make friends.
Yes. Here.
And then, of course, you get into Incube, and you mentioned how that had really helped. So, is this home?
Yes, it's really important for all of us to feel that you belong to a place. And believe me, you know, the moment when I was leaving my country, I felt really disappointed. And it really takes time, you know, to feel that you belong to a new place, new country. But after the experience of these 2 years, you know, being at Incube, you know, developing my career with the help of Inithat, I finally feel like I was in the right place, in the right moment. I met the right people, and now I belong. Yeah. I have my country. I have a new country. I have a new home.
We're claiming you, Dominica.
Thank you.
So I've got to know some of your paintings, and they are full of symbolism, and I've got a couple here. I love this one. I just love it. I'm interpreting the horns as strength. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. Actually, you know, this is one of the paintings from Rebel Women collection, which was following the Turban Women collection, and it was a transition between the woman who trying to be strong and show to people her abilities, to a woman who is wearing horns. I mean, when an animal, you know, when the animal grow horns, they're ready to fight for themselves. So Rebel Women was all about, you know, yes, I'm ready to fight. Yeah, this is me. So yeah.
And these are a few words that I had when we met before over a coffee. I had scribbled some of the things down, and you were saying, you know, we've learned that you've had some struggles in your life. You always knew you were an artist. There was things got in the way of that. But in terms of rediscovering your artistic identity, has that happened in Paisley?
Yes, definitely. As I said, it happened that I was in the right place, in the right moment with the right people. And to be honest, I mean, because everything was happening so quickly, and I've been so busy, you know, working during the nights, I sometimes like to stop for a moment, look back, and I had this feeling that someone is really looking after me, you know, because it's just unbelievable how quickly it all happened and how beautiful it is and where I am today. So I'm really grateful. Yes.
Another, oops, that's it, I wasn't pressing hard enough there. Another image here, again, this is one of my favourites, and this is something that you say regularly, that as an artist actually you're looking for imperfection, because that creates the interest. And actually for women, women are often self-conscious,
Yes.
but you've got a strong message there.
Yes, and to be honest, the iconic collection that I created, and you will see later today, it's carrying this strong message to look inside yourself and find the dreams you want to follow. Be brave and just go with your instincts. You live only once, so this is your chance, you know, to achieve your dreams. If you think you have a talent, try to bring it up and do whatever your heart is telling you to do. And there will be, you know, fails. You will always fail, but I think that the failure is a great part of great success. So don't be scared, it will only make you stronger.
Okay, so I've got a final slide, which was a message that you wanted to give to the women in the audience in particular. But I thought before we get to that, your ambitions for the future?
Loads.
Okay.
Well, I would like to be a good mom. I would love to inspire women through my art. I think, just let me tell you something. I mean, a lot of people may think, oh, she's just painting, you know, to go exhibit and sell. But to me personally, it's more about sending this message to all of you, mainly to women, but you know, to men as well, because I have really wide, you know, male audience as well. So if you come into an exhibition, and apart from just looking on a painting, you can find your own story, and you know, you can gain something from seeing this painting. That's something I want to do, and maybe an exhibition in Guggenheim and a lunch with Madonna will be good.
So that's been kind of wonderful to get to step into your world over the past sort of 30 minutes. I've really enjoyed that. Some of the themes that I think have been in that presentation there. You were nurtured as a young person. You were also suppressed at school, at high school. You've been displaced geographically and in terms of your artistic identity. But through Paisley, through your networks, and actually through circumstances, negative circumstances, you've rediscovered your creative identity.
I feel like I knew you.
Fantastic.
I feel like I knew you.
So I think we're going to move into question and answer, but I think at this point we should give Dominica a big round of applause.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So does anyone have any questions for Dominica? And I think we've got a roving mic that we can take the mic out if there is. I'm sure there are lots.
Hi Dominica.
Hi Mark.
I'd like to ask you what advice you might have to give to men of the world in supporting and celebrating inspirational women in their journey through life and maybe their careers as well.
Oh. I think if every man, as I said, the message for women is just be true to yourself. If every man could follow exactly the same advice and direction, I think they will find the way themselves. It's a really tricky one.
Maybe, I mean, your message, your final, oops, oh, sugar. No, it's just I know I wasn't supposed to go into the last slide. Oh, that's it. Because I think our film kicks in at that point.
Yes.
This was really the big, strong message you wanted to give.
Yes.
To women in particular, but to everybody.
To everybody, yes. I really experienced it, how hard sometimes it may be and how many people will try to discourage you. And it might be actually even maybe easier for men because women tend to, you know, be very more emotional and break quicker. But I would like to send this message to everyone of you who came today. The best, maybe revenge is not the best word, but the best thing you could do to prove them wrong. And even it's going to be hard, even though sometimes it can be really hard, and you will cry and you will break, you will be stronger, believe me.
Do we have any more questions?
I think I could probably do that microphone. Oh, okay. Dominica, thanks. I've really enjoyed your insights and your description of your working practices. I've got to declare an interest. I'm a songwriter, so
I know.
So music is my thing. And you talked about painting in your shed and listening to Madonna, which is quite an image. and I think but you talked about music in terms of energy and motivation, and I wonder if I can maybe see music in other ways in your paintings, and I wondered, is there a way that music gets into your paintings aside from that energetic motivation?
I think it's like a mixture. I mean, when I go to my shed, the first thing I do, I put the music on. So the music is kind of, takes me into the mood. Depending on a subject, I mean, woman and a history I want to paint, poetry. I need to find the music, and the music needs to be appropriate for the model, and the model needs to be appropriate for my mood and the thing I want to express. So it's a equal amount of everything in each painting. And to be honest, the initial plan for this exhibition was that each painting had music attached underneath. But because that could, cause some technical disturbance, we decided, okay, maybe next time. So yes, definitely music. Without music, there would be no paintings of dome arts. No, thank you.
Any other questions? P, hi.
Masterpiece. She wrote this song when she directed the film called We, about Wallace and Edward, the love mesalliance they made. It's a beautiful film. I really would recommend, if you'd like to watch it. And the song is really beautiful, and I really like to listen to that. Not even when I'm painting, but when I have 5 minutes just for myself, I like to put that on.
I actually had a question.
Yes.
It was something that didn't come up in your talk, but you were saying to me that you see colour as temperature, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, I don't see the color as a temperature. Between artists, when we discuss the techniques, we say, what's the temperature of this color? And for example, a very, very good friend of mine, Monica, a great artist and animator, she just had this ability to feel that exact temperature of a color. Whereas, for example, when I work in my shed, I work with an iPad, which has helped me to enlarge the details of the portrait. And you can believe me or not, but I look at the iPad 1 second and I can see, for example, yellow mixed with pink, a little bit white. Okay, so I go to my palette, I mix that, I put that on, then I look once again and I see green mixed with brown, and suddenly everything is different. So it's almost like my eyes, they can't feel the temperature, but they see wider spectrum of colors. I don't know if anyone knows anything about it, but I would be really grateful if someone could tell me what it is. No, but because of that, I think I decided to use very strong, bold colors, because that helps me to build the expression and just express myself. And I think it's more striking. I mean, even if I would try to work with some calmer colors, I would probably at the end add some red, green, just to make it work a little bit better. So yeah.
Okay, over there's another hand at the back there, Jane.
Oh, thank you. Dziękuję, kochani. Thank you.
We had a little impromptu gesture there from a wee person. But Jane, I don't know, do you want to stand up, because you don't have the microphone and can't quite hear you at the back there?
How to follow that? That was gorgeous and deserved. This is so inspiring that UWS are doing the series, and your presentation's been inspiring. We often say in terms of Paisley 2021, we can name our men in Paisley, but we don't do very well at naming our women. And I just wondered, in terms of Paisley or Scotland, Dominica, are there any women that you have painted or you would love to paint or have inspired your work?
I didn't, but I could probably find the whole list. The problem is I'm not very good with the names. We could always do mine in black.
The paintings that inspired you in your formative years when you were still in Poland. Which painter was that again?
It was actually a male artist, Jacek Malczewski, a great figurative painter from 19th century. And there's also a lot of current masters that I follow, and I love their artwork. They're all men. I was trying to knock to their door so many times and try to, you know, maybe get friends with them, maybe you could meet at the exhibition, but I said, no. I'm just going to carry on and do what I'm doing, my best.
Okay. So I'm going to hand over now to our Director of Organisational Development.
Thank you.
Murray.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Thank you. Is it switched on? Yes. And as you also said, there's no way I can thank in the way that you've just been thanked. That was so cute. So, but your paintings are amazing. I think I said in the first email, vivid and just so emotional and just so fantastic. This came about by a chance meeting in the atrium. Margaret was looking for a space with Dominica to do the exhibition, and because Margaret had worked at the university, was in reception in the atrium, and we just kind of bumped into each other, and she went, we could do an Inspiring Women event and the exhibition. So it was an inspired decision, so thank you very much for doing that.
Thanks for saying yes.
And so no, it was no-brainer. And thank you so much for
My
today.
pleasure. My big
that
pleasure.
was inspiring, humbling, motivational, all those words. And as you said earlier, you do have a brave heart, and it's really quite
Brave heart.
it's really quite special. So if everybody would like to join, once again, thank you.
Thank you.
So next, we have some canopies and drinks immediately outside, not outside, although we could have done it by the weather at Scotland for you tonight, but immediately outside. There's a video going to be playing on a loop here. It's about sort of 14, 15 minutes long, something like that, but you can dip in and out of it. And there are some visuals that Dominica has created that will be on the big screen just as you come into reception. So we'll have that going so you get a chance to get a drink, have a few nibbles and so on. And then we'll all be moving. I think either Dominica or Craig will invite us all upstairs for the launch of the exhibition. So thank you again.
Thank you.